by Audible. The Giants, the New York Football Giants, take down the Philadelphia Eagles last night on Thursday night football. And then in the Major League Baseball, the Dodgers dispatched the Phillies on a wild play, an error in the 11th inning. But the Cubs stay alive against the Brewers and force a Game 5 Saturday. Tonight, you got the Mariners and the Tigers. Scuba will be on the mound for the Tigers. It's a do-or-die game. Winner takes on the Toronto Blue Jays. And then tomorrow night, San Diego State football on the road in Nevada, taking on the Nevada Wolfpack. The Aztecs are currently 7.5-point favorites on the road. The point total is set at 42.5. The game is going at 7:30 here, right here on San Diego Sports 760, and pregame starts at 5:30 with Fletch and J.R. Tolver. Stuck in Traffic, Audible's romance collection will have you falling fast in the slow lane. Satisfy every side of you with the best-selling modern rom-coms, the hottest romantic series, and anticipated new releases. Start listening free when you sign up for a 30-day trial at audible.com.
Ay, ay, ay. Oh, yes. Let's get it going on a Friday. Couldn't get here fast enough, but here we are, everybody. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John and Jim will take over then. Pumped to be with you as we got a lot to cover over the next couple of hours. 4 straight primetime NFL games have been won by the underdog. A crazy trend here in 2025. An all-time playoff blunder last night that sends the Phillies out of the postseason and the Dodgers onto the NLDS. A Mountain West road test in Reno for the San Diego State Aztecs. We got SeaWorld tickets today. Mike Costa and Steve Hartman, the loose cannons, are going to be joining us on the show today. We got a busy one. And let's start with that Thursday night football game a night ago. We got Cam Scattaboo, who runs like an absolute madman, and Jackson Dart, who tries to do his best impression of Cam Scattaboo, which is not recommended if you are a quarterback or pretty much any human being not named Cam Scattaboo. Running around the field like crazy. The Philadelphia Eagles look off. They look bad. Jalen Hurts doesn't look comfortable. And the Giants stomp the Eagles and win that game in every single facet, making the Eagles look kind of hopeless last night, if we're being completely honest, outside of one 4-play stretch where there was 4 straight tush pushes called. Kirk Herbstreit said it on the broadcast. It's the first time I've heard it acknowledged by somebody. Said the only way to stop it is to ban it. Could that be coming this next offseason? I think it might be. But the Giants were the impressive part of last night. We can kind of leave the tush push conversation off to the side for now. Jackson Dart may have become a superstar last night. Long ways to go, obviously. He's going to have to prove this over and over and over again. And like we've seen with a lot of the second-year quarterbacks this year, sometimes after teams get a first-year film on you, things adjust and you look a little bit worse. But last night, Jackson Dart was fantastic, and you could tell that because the moment he left the game and was in the blue medical tent getting looked at for a concussion, and Russell Wilson was on the field, did everyone else see the shots of Brian Dable on the sideline losing his freaking mind, asking the medical trainer when Jackson Dart's going to be able to go back in the game? It is clear to me, it is clear to the country now that the head coach of the Giants, Brian Dable, trusts one quarterback and one quarterback only in that room. And his name is Jackson Dart, and he played like an incredible quarterback last night. Did you see
Brian Dable trying to go in the medical tent and make sure that his star quarterback is out there?
And then get pushed back out, and Cam Scattaboo tries to go in and literally gets shoved out of the blue medical tent. This is not a community
thing in the blue tent. This is for the doctors.
I think there's actually rules against it. The Giants could be getting fined today because those guys were trying to make their way into the tent.
I mean, that was impressive as hell. Cam Scattaboo, 3 touchdowns, 98 yards. Jackson Dart. What Jackson Dart did, no Malik Neighbors, no Darius Slade as number 2 receiver. I got to give credit to Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, we got Sammy over here calling Wan'Dale a wide receiver 3. He looked like a wide receiver 1 last night.
Well, we'll see in the long run, but I got to give him some credit. Wan'Dale Robinson, very impressive. And what he's able to do, I mean, he cooked that defense. He shredded them to pieces left and right. The Eagles are look completely out of sync. We talk about the four plays on the 4 tush pushes in a row. How about Jalen Hurts with the pick down the sideline, missing Devontae Smith? I thought was even
wide
worse
open
earlier in the game. That's an 80-yard touchdown walking in. I mean, this offense is so out of sync. I've never seen a team go from hitting 80-yard rushing touchdowns regularly last year to this team can't run the football. And you have the best running back in the game, and it just looks completely out of sync. There was some reports about apparently, they're talking about the meeting that supposedly happened last week. And
you see AJ Brown was like, I never saw any meeting.
Yeah.
I was never a part of any meeting.
I don't think I've ever seen a team that's 4-2 that has a winning record that has this much dysfunction with it. It feels like coming off a Super Bowl winning 4 straight, it almost feels like Sirianni's lost the locker room. And I think the 4 plays on the tush push is a prime example of this. That's the only thing. That's the bread and butter for Nick Sirianni. This is the only thing he has done that he has been inventive as a head coach. And to give him credit, he won a Super Bowl with it, so he's got a ring on it. But I mean, you're looking at this like I heard Damian Woody on SportsCenter after the game, and he's like, Kirk Herbstreit said it should be banned. After the game, he goes, football is show business. People forget this. It is a business. And I get that they're not stopping it, but it's so unappealing as a play. It's going to be converted. It's not even close. They false started again last night and they don't call it. I mean, it takes all the drama out of a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and 2 because you know what the Eagles are doing. And now the play isn't bailing them out anymore. And I think we're seeing that. That's why they have 2 losses in the span of 5 days.
That and Jalen Hurts just simply doesn't look that good when he's forced to become a thrower. This is the 2nd straight week where we've seen a team really hem in the pocket for the Philadelphia Eagles and make sure that Jalen Hurts is going to have to beat them as a pocket passer. Well, how do you do that? Well, you make sure Saquon's not going. And really, the first drive, Saquon was going a little bit, and then it got stopped. And the other way you stop it is to make sure that that pocket stays in the center of the field and Jalen Hurts isn't able to escape out to either of the sides. 2 teams in a row now, Denver Broncos and the New York Giants last night, have been able to keep both of those things true. And if Jalen Hurts has to beat you as a passer, he's an excellent quarterback if he has his whole game at his disposal. Last 2 games, he's not had his whole game at his disposal. He's been very human.
You wonder if he can even, a lot of the criticism a couple weeks ago is that they're not getting A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith targets. Well, now they're targeting him left and right. You wonder if Jalen Hurts can even get the ball to these guys like that. To your point, Fletch, he is a very good quarterback who has won a Super Bowl, who when he's playing ahead of the chains, because he's an excellent rusher, he's very accurate. But when you're asking him to like beat you playing from behind, Jalen Hurts, I think this is why, despite the Super Bowl ring and 2 Super Bowl appearances, people still are hesitant to put Jalen Hurts in a top 5 quarterback conversation, because you watch guys like Herbert, you watch guys who are kind of on the fringe who do, even though they haven't had the playoff success, do have the ability where you look at it and go, they're coming back on leads. And Hurts, it feels like they have to play above the system with an elite roster.
And he's also had one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in football. Pretty much every year he's been a starting quarterback. And maybe this is the first year that offensive line is starting to show some weakness. And if this is the Jalen Hurts you get, I'd be curious to hear from our Eagles fans on the text line, 70470. Start your message with team.
Tough day in Philly right now for the Phillies blow that and the Eagles.
Brutal. Let us know your thoughts on last night's Eagles games. If you are an Eagles fan, we'd love to hear from you. All right, let's get to the big 3 of hour number 1. Sammy Long takes us through the top stories in the world of sports. Sammy, I'll be honest, I'm playing a little injured today. I don't know what's wrong with me. My brain feels like it's not working. I might be sick. So I'm keeping us separated here completely. But we're going to try to get through this thing the best we can. So, Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
If you want to watch the show, you can on X at Fletch and Sammy, on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. I say that about me being sick. So if I say anything wacky today, get ready on that dump button.
We got the dump button. We're right here. We're here for you, baby. It's Friday.
Feels like an F-bomb might be coming out soon. So just get ready for it. Sammy, where are we starting?
We're gonna start. It's actually broke.
Where are we effing starting?
This actually broke right after our show. So LeBron and the Lakers, he was being held out of the preseason, and it was kind of thought that he was going to be there opening night. He now is dealing with sciatica, so lower back pain. He is out 3 to 4 weeks. He will miss the opener against the Golden State Warriors. The line has already went from the Lakers' favor by 3.5 to Golden State now favored by 1.5 in Los Angeles. What is the concern level for LeBron and the Lakers considering this injury?
Did I read this is the first time in LeBron James's career he will miss the first game of the season?
Yep.
That's kind of impressive on its own right. It is amazing. Now, LeBron, sciatica, by the way, it runs from the lower back all the way down through the buttocks and the back of each leg. This is serious, and I think it's something that's going to happen to LeBron as he gets older. And that sucks because a lot of it is because of wear and tear on the body. Obviously, no one has more of that than LeBron James. I don't know that the concern is huge. If you remember yesterday, I was kind of saying, if they're smart with LeBron James, they have the superstars on this team to get them to a postseason. And then if a fully healthy LeBron and an energized LeBron is ready to go, all that can do is add to it in the postseason. I'm curious about the Lakers this year. I'm a big fan of Luka Doncic all of a sudden. I think he's funny. I think he's clever. And I think he's a damn good basketball player that's very fun to watch. So I'm curious to see how they look sans LeBron for a while. And I think that might be good for the team, actually.
This is the Austin Reeves show. It's the Luka Doncic show. But there's been a lot of Laker fans who wanted them to deal Austin Reeves, considering he did not play very well at all in the Minnesota Timberwolves series. Jaden McDaniels really locked him up in the postseason. But this is for years. LeBron has wanted someone to take the throne from him. They thought it was Anthony Davis. Now it's Luka Doncic. And with him being out with injury, you're assuming this is just rest. Again, ideally you want him healthy just for the postseason. But then you do get nervous because of his age. You start to go, oh, is he breaking down before our eyes? Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves have to carry this team and have them in a good spot for the postseason. Until then, LeBron's going to be load managing this year, and he is the one guy that I'm not going to knock for doing it, considering his age and the fact that he's still playing at the level he is. But Austin Reeves has to step up and become that number 2 star that he can be, that he has shown at times. But some of the inconsistencies there, it can't just be Luka Doncic by himself. And DeAndre Ayton also has to really become a center presence, because if they don't have a big center presence, we saw what happened against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Things didn't work out super well. All right, let's get back to the NFL. Fletch, you have the stat before the show. So 4 straight primetime underdogs have won in the NFL, going obviously with last night. We got the Chiefs hosting the Lions. The Lions are currently 2.5-point dogs in that game. And then on Monday Night Football, the Buffalo is 4.5 road favorites against the Atlanta Falcons, and then the Washington Commanders are 4.5-point favorites against the Chicago Bears. Do you think
is this another
continues?
Double Monday night week?
It's a double Monday night game. 2 good games though.
I'm starting to get kind of sick of it, if I'm being honest.
Really, I love it.
I like it a lot. I do, but I'm starting to get a little sick of it. So this streak is kind of crazy. It actually goes all the way back to last Thursday night. It was Niners, Rams. Niners were dogged. And then Sunday night, it was Bills, Patriots. Patriots were dogs. Monday night, Chiefs, Jags. Jags were dogs. And then last night, Giants were dogged to the Eagles, and the Giants won. The more impressive part of that is outside of the Chiefs-Jaguars game, all of these were at least a touchdown favorite. And the underdogs have won every time. Do I think it continues? Absolutely not. Lions are going to win Sunday night, so that's over. But
they're underdogs.
The Lions are dogged?
In KC, yeah. The Chiefs were 1.5-point favorites at home, and it got bet all the way up to 3. It's back down to 2.5.
How? Okay. Take the Lions. The streak does continue Sunday night. Have we watched these two teams play each other? Rashee Rice isn't back this week, right? He's back next week.
Next week.
All right. Well, Sammy's...
Vegas is telling you something.
Yeah, Vegas is telling me they can get had right here.
Vegas is telling you something. I think this just goes to a bigger question about the fact that there's not a single great team in the NFL this year. Like, you're not seeing a team that is so much better than everyone else. We saw the Eagles last night. The Eagles look like they're in complete disarray right now. Even though you look at it on the roster, top to bottom, you're like, this is one of the most talented teams in football. They can't get their offense right. The Bills haven't beaten anybody. They beat Baltimore, and the Lions beat the crap out of Baltimore. The Chiefs beat the crap out of Baltimore, and the Houston Texans beat the crap out of Baltimore. So that win is not looking like the same it was in week 1 when they beat them.
Hey, come on now. The Bills beat the Saints. They beat the Patriots. Or no, they lost to the Patriots.
They had problems with the Saints, by the way.
They beat the Dolphins.
Yeah, so the Bills haven't shown you that.
Josh Allen hater.
The Ravens are completely... I'm not a hater. We just speak facts. The Ravens falling off a cliff. The Chiefs are 2-3. The Lions' best win came against Baltimore. So, and then Green Bay was the team that everyone kind of gave the throne to early in the year, and then they lose to the Browns and tie the Cowboys. So I think this just plays in the fact that there is not a great team this year in the NFL. I think it could lead to a lot of parity in the postseason, which is why the NFL is so fun.
I agree. You got one more quick one?
Story number 3. So this is a little bit of a fun one. So ESPN did a whole article, and we want to get your thoughts. 70470, start your message with team. Again, 70470, start your message with team. There's been a lot of debate over the years about whether it is wrong to have a fall wedding, because weddings usually happen on Saturdays. Therefore, it concludes during college football Saturday. So if you get invited to a wedding, if all your friends are getting married, you're probably out on college football Saturday for the day. This got famous a couple of years ago because this Alabama season ticket holder for 60 years was his granddaughter was getting married, and he said he would not go to the game because they were playing Georgia, and the family was very upset about this. Fletch, thoughts on fall weddings? Are you for them or are you against them? What are we thinking?
Is there ever really a good time to schedule your wedding? You're always going to run into something. I'll be honest, my wedding was on March 25th, smack dab in the middle of March Madness. It was actually during Sweet 16 time. And there were games that people missed because they were at my wedding. Here's what it comes down to. I never had a choice on what the wedding day was going to be. March 25th is actually my brother's birthday. So we got married on my brother's birthday. And it's because that's the day that worked for my wife. And if I would have had a problem with it and alerted her that there was Sweet 16 games, so maybe we should pick a different day, I probably wouldn't be married to her, Sammy. So I think that it's very fun to talk about this, and that grandpa is hilarious. Good for you, dude. Stand your ground. You lived
shout out to you, dude.
80-something years on this earth. You're in the effort phase of life. For those of us who aren't in the effort phase of life yet, we answer to somebody, and that somebody is a beautiful woman who we would like to marry. And so she makes the decisions.
Oh, please. Okay.
Sammy, you're not there yet, dude. You don't understand. If I would have gone to Kendall and said, hey, babe, March 25th, there's actually some pretty big things going on that time. We're going to have to switch this up.
This is my thing. You plan your wedding whenever you want. You're completely entitled to do so. And if you want to plan your wedding on a Saturday of one of the greatest college football days of all time, that's great. But don't be upset when people go, I don't want to come to your wedding. Because if you think about weddings,
I'd agree with that.
It's really about, hey, let's celebrate us. And
when you think about weddings, every single person that walks through that door costs around $120 on the cheap side.
Exactly. And it's really, if you think about weddings, it's just a look at me party for a week. You know, it's a look at us. Let's celebrate us. So I went to a wedding one time. My uncle was getting married, and this happened to be during USC Notre Dame. And her and his wife at the time's entire family went to Notre Dame. And then my dad and I are big USC football fans because he did the pregame show for years. So we were holed up in a room in the reception next to it for 3 hours during the reception watching the entire game. And some people were frustrated that we were doing that, but I think it's completely your call. Listen, if you're going to schedule it during the biggest game of the year for USC football, I might not show up. San Diego State playing in a big game, I might not show up. I think it's your prerogative. Shout out to that old man who said, I'm going to Alabama, Georgia.
It was pretty funny when my wife, right after the ceremony, said, why were so many people on their phones during the ceremony? I was like, well,
because everyone's seen the wedding act. Everyone is like, let's go.
And North Carolina was playing somebody at that point in the Sweet 16.
Right. You can't blame them.
A lot of Tar Heel fans in my family. All right, San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. We do have a lot of tickets to give away today. So coming up later on this hour, you get a day to remember with yellow card tickets for Gallagher Square on October 23rd. And then a little bit later on in the show, in hour number 2, how low screen tickets to SeaWorld. Number from the 760. If you're listening today, this is your last chance on this show to win these tickets. So good luck. We're all rooting for you.
We're all rooting for you, dude.
We really are. We just can't control what number caller you are. You're listening to San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Coming up next, Phillies, bro. The hell are we doing? That's next. Hey, it's Fletch for Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use promo code Fletch, and you are going to get $50 in bonus lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The Prize Picks app is my favorite app on my phone. Play it every single day. Coming up at 12:45, we're going to give you a $5 lineup so you can get the $50 in lineups bonus. Today's a Flex Friday. Every lineup you enter today comes with a 40% payout boost. A lineup is just 2 to 6 players. You pick their stat projections. You go more than or you go less than. So what are you waiting for? Get a part of the millions of people who have already signed up for Prize Picks. Start taking part in the billions of dollars that have already been awarded worldwide. It's tough to get action on sports here in California. Prize Picks is the spot to get it. Download the app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get that $50 bonus in lineups after you play your first $5 lineups, because on Prize Picks, it's good to be right. By the way, $5 entry for you coming up at 12:45. San Diego Sports 760. We got 13 chances for you to win $1,000 every single weekday with the bonus bucks giveaway every hour from 6 to 6. Listen for the keyword, enter it at sportssd.com. Next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 1 o'clock. Sammy Long, I can't help but notice we didn't have a steak dinner last night.
I gotta go talk to Mary, program director.
We don't know what the numbers are yet, but if you haven't already, download the free iHeartRadio app, search San Diego Sports 760, click the little plus button to add us to your presets. If we get enough of you to do so, our boss is taking us out to a $500 steak dinner.
The Remy, the steakhouse, fantastic steakhouse in Mission Valley, commented on our post, said they approve. They want us there.
By the way, if you ever go to the Remy, find a gentleman named Frank, and tell him that Fletch and Sammy sent you. The Remy, Frank. That place is awesome, dude. Frank the Tank, he's massive and he has a huge mustache, so you'll know him when you see him.
Okay, hell yeah.
He looks like a tank.
Hell yeah.
And he owns the farm where all the cows that you consume at the Remy are in Montana. Frank's an awesome dude. That's an awesome place. Shout out Remy. All right, right now, not a shout out to the Philadelphia Phillies. And is it
not a shout out to the Philadelphia Phillies?
What's the guy's name, Sammy? It's
Kirkring. Ryan Kirkring.
Kirkring? Is he their closer?
No, Duran's their closer,
right.
But because it went to extra innings, Duran had to come in early in the game in the 7th inning. Then they went to Strom. Kirkring is like their third best bullpen arm.
So he's out there, bases loaded, 2 outs, tie ball game. He's got to save it. He's got to figure out a way to get one more out. And Sammy, he does. He figures it out. He gets a slowly hit dribbler back to the pitcher, thinking can of corn. He's got options, by the way. He can just pick it up, easily throw it home, pick it up, easily throw it to first. Hell, he might even have time to pick it up and easily throw it to third. He does none of those things. He forgets to pick it up. And then in the panic of picking it up and throwing it home, the distance is you and me, Sammy, how we're sitting right now, which we're 15, 20 feet apart.
Yeah. And Pages running to first was 52 feet away from the first base bag. So he easily got it to there.
He throws it about 12 feet right of the catcher and loses the game for the Philadelphia Phillies. Dodgers walk it off. And how do you even call that a walk off?
What was worse, Bill Buckner or that?
It's pretty close. If we're being completely honest, it is pretty close. But if I'm Kirkring, I don't know. I'm showing my face in Philadelphia for months. I don't know if I ever go back. I might just quit.
It was just a panic. This is why in the postseason you talk about just putting pressure on the base pass. Like so many people in that game, I was watching that yesterday. Like the final, like through this 8th, when the Dodgers tied it in the 7th inning, I believe it was 7th inning, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, everyone's trying to hit home runs. And it was just a pitching duel. Like both pitchers for the Phillies and the Dodgers were just eating them alive. And then you start seeing the Dodgers put pressure on the base pass and stuff like that happens because you're in such a big moment. 760 is a great day to be a Philly hater. Yesterday, woke up today, let them all know they lost.
It is a rough day. Eagles and Phillies lose.
Zero sympathy.
And the Eagles lose to the Giants, who are just a division opponent who they've completely owned for the last 10 years.
We got a 2 Game 5s in the MLB now. We got Tigers and Mariners tonight, and then we got Cubs and Brewers. Do you think any of these teams can give the Blue Jays or the Dodgers a run for their money?
Oh man, it's Seattle can, but Seattle's got to get through Skubal first, and that's going to be tricky.
The Mariners have the lineup. It depends all on Brian Wu because he's been out for the first couple series. He's an ace pitcher for them. The Mariners have the lineup with Eugenio Suarez, Julio Rodriguez, obviously the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, Jorge Polanco's been playing well. They have the lineup to potentially give the Blue Jays or the Dodgers problems if they can match it. The Cubs bats, I think, can match the Dodgers a little bit, despite the Dodger bats not being very good recently. But the Brewers overall, just pitching staff is better. I'm curious because Detroit feels a little, I don't know. It feels like Skubal and then a couple guys. I feel like I'd like to see the Mariners win today and take on the Blue Jays. I think that'd be a very fun ALCS.
A lot of people this morning I'm seeing around the country saying that last night was the World Series between the Dodgers and the Phillies. And since the Dodgers won, they will just waltz their way to another World Series. I think
the Blue Jays are a team that's playing with so much confidence right now. I think that would be an excellent World Series between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers.
Be cool to see. All right, San Diego Sports 760, quick break here. Mike Costa going to be jumping on the other side. We'll talk some Aztecs with Mike. He's Aztec for life himself. Talk some Raiders, talk some AFC West with him as well. Mike Costa, Big Blue Lou, jumping on next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport's sponsored by Lowe's. The Aztecs currently 7.5-point road favorites in Nevada tomorrow night. We hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. You can hear Fletch and J.R. Tolver on the pregame starting at 5:30. Other Southern California college football, USC hosting Michigan, number 15th ranked tomorrow at 4:30. SC is currently a slight favorite at 2.5 points, and the total set at 56.5. And out of La La Land with the Lakers, LeBron is out 3 to 4 weeks. He will miss the first season opener of his career. He's dealing with sciatica, a lower back issue. The Lakers will open up here in a week and a half with the Golden State Warriors. Lowe's knows Sundays hit different when you earn them. So we're helping you with deals on top brands like Scott's, Pit Boss, Cobalt, and Trex Decking. So get to Lowe's, get it done, and earn your Sunday. Lowe's, the official partner of the NFL.
Coming up in about 9 minutes, we are giving away a pair of tickets to go see A Day to Remember alongside Yellow Card on October 23rd at Petco Park at Gallagher Square. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Right now, before we give away those tickets, we check in with the big fella himself, Mike Costa, jumping on for a little Friday appearance. Mike, how we doing, sir?
What's going on, kids? What's the good word? What's happening? How are things?
The good word is that there's been 4 straight upsets on primetime football. Did you catch any of that last night?
You know what? I knew it was on, and I was watching baseball and taking care of honeydews and stuff, and then I was following it on my phone, and then I was like, oh, man, either somebody has figured Philadelphia out, or this is one of those 2-week spans where they're hoisting another Super Bowl trophy at the end of this football season, and they point to it, hey, those are the 2 best weeks that could have happened to us. It made us it grounded us, kind of got us to refocus, et cetera. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's tough to tell with Philly because they do look terrible. Now, the Giants do have this kid, Cam Scattaboo, on their team, who's kind of taken over the world. He had 3 more touchdowns last night. Costa, he runs like I imagine you were running back in your junior college football days, just running through people, not worried about concussions or anything, reckless abandon. You have one of those heads like Cam Scattaboo, the real big, hard ones, you know. Is that kind of how you were playing?
Well, Cam has a brain in his. Mine is just cement. I love the violence that he runs with, except those type of guys don't last long in the NFL. At some point his coaches are going to tell him, dude, you got to avoid the collision. But right now it works for him. They love him in New York. And he is integral to that team's success.
Mike, so the Raiders, obviously tough performance against the Indianapolis Colts. NBA superstar Damian Lillard is calling for Shedeur Sanders to be traded to the Las Vegas Raiders to be the new quarterback. Are we going to see Geno Smith benched at some point for a quarterback this season?
I got to tell you, and this is the word coming out of Seattle is they could not wait to get rid of Pete Carroll. The ship had sailed, the rah-rah, the wrestling guys at practice and doing all that stuff had gotten really old. So unfortunately you are getting the Pete Carroll and Geno Smith of when both were with the New York Jets and they were absolute disasters. If you're gonna salvage the season, Geno Smith better be on an extremely short leash this weekend against the Tennessee Titans, a game he should win. But if the guy's got 9 interceptions so far, and there's rumblings within the locker room, his attitude is crap, and there's no accountability on his part. So I think if he goes into this game and in that first quarter he chucks another one, Pete Carroll has to. And I'm sure the phone might be ringing down from the owner's box wherever Tom Brady is this weekend doing the game, saying, "Dude, make the switch to Kenny Pickett." Can't get any worse. It cannot get any worse. As far as Shedeur Sanders is concerned, if it's me, I got to find out why he cannot beat out Dylan Gabriel, could not beat out Joe Flacco to be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. To me, that's the big story. That question still needs to be answered.
For sure. Mike Costa joining us today. You can catch him on the air with Sully and Little Tommy every weekend on KUSI and Fox 5. Costa, The Raiders play the Titans this week, like you just said, and it's in Las Vegas. After that, man, schedule is brutal for a little bit. Chiefs, Jags, Broncos, Cowboys, Browns with a good defense, Chargers. It gets really tough for the Raiders very quickly. Say this weekend doesn't go well, and you somehow lose to the Tennessee Titans, who are winless at this point. November 4th is right around the corner. Max Crosby, could he be on the move to try to reload this draft capital?
Sorry, I'm sneezing. I'm suffering terrible allergies today. I think that's up to Max. You know, he has said, he's always talked about being Raider for life. I don't think he's going to give up on this franchise. But there's a lot of pieces, I think, that you could possibly move. But Ben, you know, you do that, then you are faced with a literally visiting team advantage for all the rest of your home games. If you kind of raise that white flag and you're telling your team, hey, bet, we're going to try to do this again next year, total reset. You may have a new general manager. You may have a new head coach. As far as the schedule is concerned, listen, those are the cards you dealt, and play better. Don't complain about this or injuries or things like that. Play better. Because they aside from that win against the New England Patriots, they literally have looked at times like they don't know what they're doing.
Mike, how would you look at the AFC West? Because every team's struggling. Chiefs lose on Monday Night Football to the Jags. You got the Chargers lose, get blown out against Washington. Are you buying the Denver hype after beating Philly, or do you think Philly's just not as good as everyone thinks they are?
I think Philly's coming down. Denver, obviously, in gambling terms, is on the come. But, with Nix at quarterback for the Denver Broncos, who I love watching play. I think he reminds me so much of Drew Brees, and he's got the moxie and stuff. But he's still young enough to make a really bad throw and really make a bad decision in a game that could come back to sting the Broncos. As much, Sammy, as this makes me sick to my stomach to say, the Chargers, I think, right now, even though they've suffered two bad losses, especially against the Giants, and then it's one against the Redskins where they gave 27 unanswered points that the Commanders scored. I still say that when healthy, if all pistons are firing, the Chargers should win that AFC West.
Wow. If they can get healthy, we'll see. That O-line needs some work.
Well, and that's it. And freaking Herbert is getting the living you-know-what beat out of him. And you've got those major injuries to those guys up front as far as the offensive line is concerned. So I think the Chargers they will go as far as Herbert's health is going to take them. But when that team is healthy and everything is working for them, that defense is pretty sick. Like I said, it makes me sick to admit it, but they're good.
All right. Mike, how about those Aztecs, man? 4-1, heading into Nevada this weekend, then a little bye week, and then Fresno State. They're 2 games away from being bowl eligible. Year 2 for an Aztec for life like yourself, looking a lot better than year 1 of the Sean Lewis era. What have you thought watching this season?
Year 1 was brutal. I tell you what, I want to see a couple more impressive wins. They boat raced Colorado State because they were supposed to. I give them credit for the Cal beatdown. They took the Bears behind the woodshed, and Cal had no idea what hit them. You'll see a lot about this football team this weekend in Nevada. I think, what are they, 7.5, 7-point favorites going up there to Reno. So after this game, I think you'll have a pretty good indication how hot a roll that they are on. But comparing last season to this season, yeah, it's a lot better to be an Aztec fan, because I'll be honest with you, I was like, okay, Lewis is not the guy. Get rid of him. Nobody knows who he is. All these cute little sayings about Aztec fast and stuff like that. They look pretty damn slow, but they don't look slow this year. I mean, what they did against Colorado State on the ground and in the air, the long ball was beautiful to see in the way they whipped up on the Rams.
Mike, obviously Padres season did not wrap up the way everyone wanted it to. What is your reaction to them kind of bowing out in the wild card?
Don't just laugh. That sounds mean.
You know what? That San Diego is the hometown of the almost did it parades. I'm sorry, you have how much money tied up in Tatis and Machado?
A lot.
And what did they do? What did they do exactly in the playoffs.
2 for 22.
Well, it's people are like, well, they're only one person. There's 8 other guys. I don't care. When you're paid the money you're paid, you're supposed to help your team get closer and get to the promised land. And that wild card series was a friggin' joke. Yeah, they got the win, big whoop, but you're at home just like everybody else, watching the other teams as usual move on in the playoffs. And unfortunately, it's the Dodgers again.
Well, on that note, Mike, I guess we're going to have to tell you have a great weekend. I'm kidding, brother. I miss you. What do you guys have coming up this weekend on the air?
I should have told you this beforehand. Is that we are not doing on the air right now as we speak.
Oh.
And I will sit.
So you're not the jerk for laughing. I'm the jerk for asking. Oh, so I'm just okay.
Costa, I wish you could see Ben's face right now.
Yeah, he's going, wow, thanks for the heads up, Costa. I will send you an email explaining all the different cookie jars I have my hands in. One is with Sully, and then is another show I've been part of for like the last 5 or 6 months. I'll send you the info on so you can get your ducks in a row next time.
Sounds good, man. Keep listening because Sammy's about to give you a daily fantasy sports lineup. I know you're a degenerate like the rest of us, and we'll talk to you soon, Costa.
All right, man. Take care, guys.
Long Shots is coming up next. Right now, your chance to win a pair of tickets to go see A Day to Remember along with Yellow Card at Gallagher Square. That show is October 23rd at Petco Park at Gallagher Square. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. Caller number, Sammy?
6.
Caller number 6, you're going to the show. 877-767-4760. Call now. Hey, it's Fletch for Gary Cooper over at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. You could call Gary Cooper today, 858-376-1299, or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Gary, a couple weeks ago, you were talking about a teacher who you were able to get some crazy deal on. I think it was like $40,000. What were you able to do for her?
Well, there was a grant program that's available to all teachers in the Poway School District, and I believe it's also for the San Diego School District as well. So it's a $40,000 grant. You don't pay it back. You qualify for it. It's really, really simple, and it's for first-time home buyers. $40,000 you can buy anywhere in San Diego. There's no restrictions to it. And yes, my clients, Kevin and Carla, just went into escrow last Friday, using the $40,000 down as their down payment. They're using an FHA loan, and they're officially in escrow, and they're expected to close on the 3rd of November. But so far, it's been a really, really smooth transaction with that down payment assistance. So if you're a teacher, if you know somebody it is, spread the word. I can help you get approved for it.
Call Gary Cooper today, 858-376-1299, or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Tell him Fletch sent you. Brendan won those concert tickets for Gallagher Square. Thanks for listening, man. Coming up next hour, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to How Low Scream at SeaWorld San Diego this year. New horrors have awakened. 5 haunted houses, 8 terrifying scare zones, hidden speakeasies, and the shrills of coasters after dark. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now through November 2nd, Halloween fun for the whole family. For a limited time, kids can go free with a paid adult ticket. We're trying to give 4 of them away for free. Visit SanDiegoSeaWorld.com for more information, or just keep listening for your chance to win that 4-pack of tickets. Sammy, did we win long shots last night?
Did not.
No, the Phillies pitcher went too long.
Yes, we were very close.
And Saquon, did he get 18 touches? I don't even remember.
No, because I thought they would. I got to give you credit. I called both MLB winners last night. You called the Giants upset. So I thought the Eagles were going to be leading in this game. I did not think the Giants were going to be leading throughout, and that did not play well for long shots, unfortunately.
You know why that's okay?
Because we got a new one right now.
And then it's Friday. So there's a 40% payout boost attached. We use Prize Picks. You can use whatever app you want. But on Prize Picks, if you use promo code Fletch, you get $50 in free lineups. So download the app today. And this could be your first $5 entry to get you that $50 bonus. Sammy Long, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money and you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance
Pay that man his money.
with long shots.
I was just thinking, Sammy, if we ever get big enough to the point where we have merch, I think a Smash It Sammy t-shirt should be in the works.
Oh, definitely. We need to get some merch on that, like Squad Ride W, Smash It Sammy.
You with a big old like Hulk arms just smashing buttons.
I want a sweatshirt of Fletch with a Nobu necklace around him.
Sure. You've heard of Wreck-It Ralph. Now we got Smash It Sammy. Huh? Sammy out here smashing.
All right. Okay.
On a Friday. Yeah.
All right.
Smashing Sammy. I
Guys,
like it.
we're locking in. We're locking in, guys. We got a big parlay. We got a lot to get to. This parlay was kind of hard to put together because there were so many options, so many directions we could have gone in. This is an all football parlay. Okay. So that we could have gone in some baseball, but I kept this to football. We're going to reduce it. So we're going to start with college football. All right. We're going to go Arch Manning. Now, I know he has not played very well. Okay. But I'm looking at this number against Oklahoma. 205.5 passing yards. We're going to go more than. John Mateer is back for the Oklahoma Sooners. He has missed the last few weeks. They're going to be throwing the ball over the yard. Texas is actually a little bit of a slight favorite at home, which is surprising to me, coming off that disastrous performance last week in the swamp. You got to remember, Arch, he's getting buried. Everyone's forgetting about this guy. He was awful against Ohio State. He was really bad against Florida. I think this number, though, at 205.5 passing yards is way too low for me because I could see Oklahoma getting up in this game, which means they're going to have to be throwing from behind. I also think Arch is better than what he is. What we've seen so far, we've seen a guy who got so hyped and was just named as the prodigy, who was the number 1 overall pick before he barely played any college football. And it just feels like now maybe he's being a little bit underhyped. I think more than 205.5 passing yards is the way to go here. All right, then we're going to the night game. SC, Michigan. This is the biggest USC game in a long time. I mean, you talk about state of the program type stuff for USC. USC coming off a bye week, a tough loss in Illinois. Now in that Illinois game, star safety Kamari Ramsey's out, star receiver Jacoby Lane's out, center Killian O'Connor, and left tackle Elijah Page are all out in this game. Wayman Jordan still hit his over on rushing yards. Michigan, Illinois exposed something. The USC defense in terms of the run game is not very good. So we're going to stay away from Maeva, the quarterback for USC's yardage, because I think there's not going to be a ton of possessions in this game. I think USC, Lincoln Riley, despite the big play offense, getting some of the offensive linemen back. Wayman Jordan, running back for USC, Saturday night, more than 78.5 rushing yards. He's had some really big performances this year. The highlights of USC is that they're throwing the ball over the yard. This is a run-first team. I think they're going to try to impose their will on Michigan and not give the ball to Underwood.
What was the pick?
More than 78.5 rush yards for Wayman Jordan. His name is Wayman Jordan, running back for USC.
Waymond.
Yep. All right, then we're going to head to
Raymond, but Waymond.
Raymond. You know what it is. All right, we're going to head to the NFL. Justin Herbert, less than 252.5 passing yards, just came down. Joe Alt, out for this game. Trey Pipkins, out for this game. Omarion Hampton, not there. Najee Harris, not there. Justin Herbert has went under on his number the last 2 weeks without all of his offensive linemen. This is a big deal for Justin Herbert. They're all over him. They can't. The pass rush in Miami quietly. I think this is going to be a little bit of a close game. They're going to try to run the ball a little bit with Kamani Vidal, who they pulled up from the practice squad. Justin Herbert, this is too big of a number for me at 252.5. We're going less than. I think this number is so high because of the first 3 weeks. Justin Herbert was throwing it all over the yard. The last 2 weeks, though, not having the same kind of success. Then for our last pick. Now, normally it's not the smartest to bet on Tennessee Titans. Okay?
Uh-oh.
Cam Ward. 195.5 passing yards. We're going more than. I think Cam Ward found something a little bit. I know that win against Arizona was ugly, and I know he threw the interception, but then Arizona fumbles. Cam Ward has talent. Tyjae Spears back in the lineup at running back for the Tennessee Titans on the road in Vegas. Vegas is in shambles to me right now. If you're the Las Vegas Raiders, there is nothing going with this team right now. They have lost all faith in it. You lose off a big-time field goal to the Chicago Bears a week ago. You get absolutely smashed by Daniel Jones in the Colts. I think this team is in disarray. I think they're going to be breaking this whole thing up here in about a couple weeks with the trade deadline. Cam Ward, more than 195.5 passing yards. This is a low number. And even if you think the Titans aren't very good and they're going to be losing in this game, great. That means they're going to be throwing from behind the entire time. This number is too low for me. Cam Ward has hit some of his overs the last few weeks. So to recap, Arch Manning, quarterback, University of Texas, more than 205.5 passing yards. Wayman Jordan, starting running back for USC, more than 78.5 rush yards. Justin Herbert in Miami, less than 252.5 pass yards. And Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick, more than 195.5 pass yards against the Las Vegas Raiders.
I am going to be #riding with Sammy. However, I don't like that Herbert pick, but I'm going to have faith.
Why don't you like the Herbert pick?
Because I think it's actually going to be a pretty close game. And
I think it is too.
I think it's going to get into a bit of a shootout, and so both quarterbacks are going to be throwing a ton. But I'm leaving it in. It's already submitted.
This is not an indictment on Herbert. It's an indictment on the offensive line for the Chargers not having anyone healthy. And I also worry about Najee Harris, Omarion Hampton. Where's the pass protection? These running backs are
running backs are hurt, so he's going to be throwing the ball more.
I know, but what's the biggest thing for a quarterback is trusting that your running back is going to pick up extra blitzers. Miami's going to be blitzing the hell out of the Chargers. I don't like the injuries there. I think this is way too high of a number for the Chargers.
I picked it. I don't love it, but I love you, Sammy, and thank you for making that lineup for all of us. So, yeah, it is a Flex Friday, 40% payout boost. You can just tap that on the Prize Picks app. Download it, use promo code Fletch. You know all the things. All right, hour number 2 is coming up next. We do have Steve Hartman, who's going to be jumping on the show. We also have work to be accomplished. We think we know what we're doing with our Circa Survivor pick. Sammy and I have $1,000 on the line this weekend, and we are putting it on one team. Should we be?
Can I just say one thing before we go to break?
Please do.
I love Steve Hartman. Like, he's my guy. Like, I know he is for you too.
You would like to leave before we talk to Steve?
I'm not looking forward to today because if Steve Hartman was on, I got to give him credit. He called the Denver. Well, we're 5 weeks into the season, but he was high on the Denver Broncos. Mm-hmm. They won last week. The Chargers lost. The Chiefs lost. The Raiders are kind of irrelevant, but they lost. I'm sure Steve will be very kind.
No, he won't.
And looking forward positively towards the weekend.
He's going to be trying to hurt your feelings. And he's going to succeed, which is why we love Steve so much. It's predictable. It's reliable. It's going to be fantastic. That's
Steve Hartman, predictable and reliable.
All right. Coming up in the next hour, your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld and Steve Hartman. What could be better? That's next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This was sponsored by the Neighborhood Association's Head Start. San Diego State football on the road in Nevada tomorrow night, 7:30. Aztecs currently 7.5-point road favorites. Point total is set at 42.5. Fletch and J.R. Tova get the pregame going at 5:30. Of course, you get that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. We got 2 Game 5s in the next 2 days in Major League Baseball. The Tigers in Seattle taking on the Mariners. The Tigers are currently a -120 favorite. They got Tarek Skubal on the mound versus George Kirby going for the M's. And the Cubs are going up the road to the Brewers. Chicago is currently a +115 on the road to get it done. That game is going Saturday at 5 o'clock. Childcare costs got you stressed. NHA's Head Start offers free child development programs and support for families with kids 0 to 5. Enroll now at headstartsandiego.org. You might qualify and not even know it.
It's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Happy Friday, everybody. Steve Hartman coming up in 30 minutes. How Low Scream tickets at SeaWorld coming up in about 20 minutes, so do not go anywhere. We're actually going to start this hour talking some Aztecs football. They're hitting the road. They're heading to Nevada probably right now-ish, actually. They're getting on the plane. And John Schaefer, Rich Ornberger will be there with the team. J.R. Tolver and I will get going with the broadcast at 5:30 tomorrow right here on San Diego Sports 760. I started doing a little bit of research on Nevada as of last night. They have a freshman quarterback with about 1 game of film on him. His name is Carter Jones. He's very talented. He calm, cool, and collected against Fresno State. And Nevada almost pulled the upset in Fresno a week ago. So this is not the Nevada that started the year as the preseason number 12 team in the Mountain West. This is a team that's gotten a little bit of life shot back into it. San Diego State, on the other hand, has been excellent in San Diego and pretty terrible on the road. This is a huge test for this Aztecs team in a game that can absolutely be considered a trap game for the reasons I just laid out. Nevada, preseason number 12. You're going on the road. You're 4-1, looking to go to 5-1. You got a bye week right after, then Fresno State after that. It's going to be really, really easy for San Diego State to maybe look past Nevada. And I'm telling you, that would be a huge mistake. Nevada, a little bit more talented than their record. They have an excellent edge rusher who's been able to get to the quarterback. He had 2 sacks a week ago. And San Diego State's going to have to play good on the road. And we have yet to see this offense play well on the road. I think it's a big day tomorrow, Sammy. For the rest of the season for San Diego State, tomorrow feels like a big one.
Well, yeah, and you also got to prove that you can do it on the road. Like, yeah, you did it against Northern Illinois, but that's all kudos to the defense.
That game was 6-3.
Right. I'm kudos to the Aztecs. I've never seen a team cover the spread 2.5 with 6 points. Like that's honestly impressive. I've never seen that happen before, but the defense we know can travel. We know that they can play at home. We want to see the offense. The big play was back. I mean, we hadn't seen that kind of big play offense in frankly years.
They had 3 plays, 40+ yards through the air in the first half.
I mean, that was electric. Like, we want to see that this week. You want to see them be able to take on the road. They should beat Nevada. They're 7.5-point favorites. The point total is saying at 42.5 that they don't expect a ton of points. But if the Aztecs can go on the road here and have a good offensive showing, and then, I mean, you start getting really excited about this team being 1-2 wins away from bowl eligibility, something that did not even seem feasible last year with last year on the Mesa was pretty rough. So it's amazing what happens though. Like, for everyone who was like, get rid of Sean Lewis after the first year. It's amazing with a college football program when you allow a team to get their guys in place, to get their system. Like, we've seen the jump already year 1 to year 2, and you're just hopefully it's exponential growth up from here.
Yeah, you're right. And Jaden Denegal is getting more and more comfortable every single game he plays, which is huge for San Diego State. That was his 5th start a week ago against Colorado State, and that was by far his best start. So if he keeps stacking good games, all of a sudden you're looking at a potential Mountain West contender this season in the San Diego State Aztecs. Lots to go. Obviously, they played 1 game in conference, but 4-1 so far, looking to go 5-1 this weekend in a very winnable game, and then bye week, and then the second half of your season begins, and that's when things start to get fun. Can't wait for tomorrow. J.R. Tolver and I on the air, 5:30 tomorrow. John Schaefer, Rich Ornberger will have the kickoff at 7:30 right here on San Diego Sports 760. Now, Sammy, if you'll notice, every Friday so far of the NFL season, I have worn my Circa Survivor hat.
We have not talked about Circa Survivor yet today.
Every Monday of the NFL season so far, I have also worn my Circa Survivor hat because so far it's worked. I'm wearing the hat today. We feel okay about our pick. We're thinking the Green Bay Packers.
Packers are currently 14.5-point favorites at home.
They are the biggest favorites on the board this week, which always makes me feel one type of way. But we are feeling like we're taking the Packers at home, coming off a bye against the Bengals, who just added Joe Flacco to their team.
Text us if try to talk us out of Green Bay, a pick that you think is better. 70470. Start your message with team. If you think for some reason Green Bay, Cincy somehow is going to go in there and win, or you think there's a better pick to save Green Bay, let us know.
Can
I don't
throw
see
out
that
an
right
option.
Throw out
Just an option.
Let's hear it.
Rams against the Lamarless Ravens.
That's interesting.
Can I throw out another option?
Yes.
Steelers against the Browns.
Don't like that whatsoever.
It's in division. I get that. But Dylan Gabriel, I know he impressed some people, didn't really impress me. The Steelers defense is going to have their way with Dylan Gabriel.
But the Steelers defense was bad for the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, but they also, even in the first 3 weeks, they still turned over the other team a bunch.
Dylan Gabriel, say we want about Dylan Gabriel, and I was not high on him coming into the season. I thought he was going to be a terrible quarterback because, jury's still out. But because of the way he was at Oregon, had a stacked roster, he's small, doesn't have a big arm. They moved the ball. Like, they looked like a somewhat competent offense with them. AFC North.
I would stay away from the AFC North. I really would. I don't like picking in that division. I wouldn't want to pick a divisional game no matter what division it's in. I especially don't like the AFC North. I am still on the side of the Packers. I just want to throw these out as conversation starters. Now, Rams against the Ravens without Lamar.
That feels good.
The Rams will have some spots in the next couple of weeks where they play a little bit easier teams.
And the only thing that makes me a little nervous about the game, like, yes, they should win. They're 7.5-point favorites. It is on the road.
And the Ravens have been embarrassed.
And you're talking about Baltimore playing for their postseason lives. Like, you need to win this week with Lamar got out. And they still have Zay Flowers. They still got Derrick Henry, Cooper Rush, second week in the system starting. That one, like, I feel like could be a little bit of a closer game. People give him credit for it. Fletch wanted the Raiders. I shut that down immediately.
I tried to bring it up as a part of a conversation. I still think we should talk about it. We should talk about everything.
Okay, give me your
we
pitch.
take the Packers this week. We're taking the Packers off the board for the rest of the season.
Yes.
They could be a very valuable team later on.
Give me your pitch. Try to explain to America and San Diego why taking the Las Vegas Raiders, who lost by 34 points at the hands of the Indianapolis Colts, is a good pick this week.
I never said it was. I'm saying if we want a pick that is going to help us weeks from now, we're never even going to think about the Raiders again. The only opportunity you have to think about them is if they're playing the Tennessee Titans. Raiders are at home. Cam Ward has had moments. He's not been great.
Geno Smith.
The only win the Titans have had is an absolute historic collapse by the Arizona Cardinals that involved a fumble at the 1 yard line and them gifting a touchdown to the Titans by way of an interception from the Cardinals. Like, Cam Ward lost that game and he lucked in.
I got one question for you though. Have you seen Geno Smith play football?
I have, and I've seen him play good football with the Seahawks at times. I've seen him be very
not
bad
on the
this
Seahawks anymore.
I've seen Ashton Janty be really good this year, and I've seen the Titans be just bad. So that is the argument. I'm not saying we should. Trusting $1,000 to the Las Vegas Raiders.
To the Las Vegas Raiders.
It seems insane. But I'm saying it's something worth talking about.
Like, some people are taking the Chargers on the road to Miami. I don't like that game because
I bet you a lot of people are on the Raiders.
No.
I bet you a lot.
Not with 4,000 people left. People are taking the Raiders.
I bet you 10%. I bet you 400 people are on the Raiders.
If we took the Raiders, I would much rather have just taken the $1,000 and given it to charity and wrote it off as a tax break than bet on the Las Vegas Raiders.
You think the Titans are going to win?
I think it's going to be a very close game, and I feel like it is a lot of unneeded stress in our life.
I feel like the Raiders are not a bad pick this week. I actually just talked myself into it. Well, we're going with the Packers, and I'm fine with that. We are taking the Packers off the board in week 6, which seems early to me.
I know, but here's why I'm okay with taking a safe pick. Think of what we've taken. The Cardinals, risky pick. Seattle, Denver. We took Baltimore's only one win of the season. We took who would take last week? The Colts. We have not taken a high leverage team yet. I feel like in a week where there's not a lot of matchups you look at and go, there's lopsided things here. I think it's nice to take the Green Bay Packers. The teams are whittled down from 18,000 to 4,000. Whittle this thing down and just try to stay alive going forward.
We got some awesome texts. We're going to get to all of them coming up in about 10 minutes, and then we'll give away some SeaWorld tickets. We do need to get to the big three. They're great texts. They're so good. We'll get to them in just a little bit. That's a tease. Right now, it's time for the big three, where Sammy takes us through the top stories in the world of sports. I'm telling you, Raiders aren't a bad pick.
No, the Raiders are not an option.
Sammy, I've talked myself into it. The Raiders are going to win this week. I want to put it officially back on the board for discussion.
Hell no.
Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Shedeur Sanders So the saga continues. Have you ever seen a quarterback 3 that gets more publicity than Shedeur Sanders?
He's a QB2 now.
He's QB2 now. That's what I'm getting to. So earlier this week, if you weren't familiar with the story, Shedeur Sanders, after trading Joe Flacco to the Cincinnati Bengals, they still would not name Shedeur Sanders their quarterback 2. They were considering Bailey Zappi, coming off the practice squad, the former New England Patriot, to be the QB2. Reaction, he got named today as the quarterback 2 behind Dillon Gabriel. How many weeks, or if at all, before we see Shedeur Sanders, we're going to take injury out of it, before we see Shedeur Sanders jump Dillon Gabriel for the starting job in Cleveland?
You love Dillon Gabriel. You think he's going to go all over the Pittsburgh Steelers defense?
I think taking dumb selections in division in the AFC North, which is the one thing that we said before the year we were not going to do, is AFC North division games. Taking that randomly because your father-in-law seems to be nervous about the Green Bay Packers, who are at home with 14.5 point coming off a bye.
Steelers coming off a bye as well. Also, the Browns coming off of London. We can save that for another time. Whatever. Let's see. Shedeur Sanders, I don't think starts a single game this year for the Cleveland Browns.
Really?
It doesn't mean he doesn't start a game this year.
Wait. You just said say
not
again?
For the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, okay.
I think there is a chance he might get moved. I think that the Browns, Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, are still not happy they drafted him in the first place. That's why they've dragged their feet so long. This has been a shot across the bow of Shedeur Sanders and his dad. And I think potentially November 4th comes around and Shedeur Sanders is playing on a different team.
I could very well see that.
Maybe the Raiders.
I think it'd be a smart move for the Raiders because it can't get any worse. Literally cannot get any possibly worse. I'm looking at, I've kind of come around to your thinking on this in the sense of clearly the Browns don't want Shedeur Sanders. Like, they have made it as hard as humanly possible. I mean, they have literally at every instance been like, we don't want this guy to play. And I don't know if it's a locker room thing. I don't know if it's that the owner was like, you have to draft him, Jimmy Haslam, because it's a 5th round pick. They didn't seem, Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, all that excited when they took Shedeur Sanders, when they panned to him on the draft cam coverage. But I mean, the Bailey Zappi thing, the fact that was even considered, this guy's a practice squad player. You traded Joe Flacco.
You didn't like Zappi Hour out of New England? That was kind of fun.
It's not a shot to Bailey Zappi. It's just like, then why have you not traded this guy? If you are that badly not wanting him to play, why the hell would you not even make it an instance? Like, I got putting Joe Flacco as your quarterback 2 after you benched him, I guess, because you didn't want Shedeur Sanders to come in a game and Dillon Gabriel gets hurt. He hasn't had a whole week of prep. But now that Joe Flacco's gone, you traded him. It's kind of crazy to me that was even a discussion. I'm kind of with you. I think teams are going to come calling because Shedeur Sanders, I mean, if you're a bottoming team, if you're the Jets,
why not?
Why not?
He was a first round graded talent.
Right.
By the media. I mean, obviously NFL teams didn't feel the same way.
If he sucks, then you're picking at the top of the draft. If you get something and you fleece the Cleveland Browns, who by the way, have never really drafted and developed a quarterback, and the one they did in Baker Mayfield, they let him go.
What if you're the Dolphins and in one fell swoop, you get rid of your head coach, your GM, and you add Shedeur Sanders to this team and start selling that for next year?
You add Shedeur Sanders without a head coach in Miami?
Well, you don't play him this year. You play him next year after you get rid of Tua.
Interesting.
Just thinking.
I can see that.
What's next?
Okay, so the Philadelphia Eagles lose yesterday. We got the Dallas Cowboys on the road in Carolina. The Washington Commanders at home against the Bears on Monday Night Football. And the Giants get a big win, obviously, against them last night. Is this division up for grabs? Should the Eagles still be the favorites to win this division?
Dude, it's tricky. Now, if Jaden Daniels continues to play as well as he's played while he's been healthy this year, it feels like it's kind of become the Commanders' division to lose, right? The NFC East this year. And the Cowboys aren't out of it. Do you remember, Sammy, how many people we talked to ahead of this season that said there's a legitimate shot the Cowboys could finish last in this division after the Micah Parsons move?
Yeah.
We may have been way overreacting because Dak Prescott looks as good as he's ever looked this year, even without CeeDee Lamb on the field. This is kind of open season right now. And I don't think the Eagles are the team at the end of the year who have this division. I think I could see the Commanders and the Cowboys winning it. Hell, at this point, if Jackson Dart stays on fire, I could see the Giants winning it. Is this the most fun division in football?
It
Not
is.
The best,
it
most
sucks.
fun.
I'm kind of bummed for Giants fans that they didn't beat the Saints last week. Sorry to our Saints fan. The text line is going to kill me for that. But like, if they had beat the Saints, you're looking at this team on a 3-game win streak going, wow, like, I mean, look what happens when you install youth and energy into an organization that has had a revolving door of mediocrity at quarterback ever since Eli Manning goes. everyone went out on the Commanders. The Commanders have really kind of steadied the ship. That was an impressive win in LA, taking on the Chargers. They get down in that game. Usually give Harbaugh a lead and he gets to run the ball. Like, that's usually not a good recipe for success. Coming back, winning that. In Dallas, listen, the defense, they're not going to go far in the playoffs because you can't win with that defense. But the offense is unbelievable. And the fact that Dak Prescott's in the MVP conversation and CeeDee Lamb has not even been there. And they should have beat the Eagles week 1 if he catches the ball. So, I mean, this division's up for grabs. I think we just way too early instilled the Eagles as the favorite just because they were Super Bowl champs last year.
All right, we're going to hold off on Big 3, Story 3. It's going to be about college football. We will get to it next, as well as all of your texts. These are fantastic on the text line, including a very controversial opinion, Sammy, on what we should be doing with our circa pick over the next couple of weeks.
If it's the one I'm looking at, I think this is, you should do this.
I don't know if you're going to like it. That's coming up next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Also, SeaWorld tickets will be gone before the clock strikes 1:30. So stay listening. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Aztecs heading on the road to take on Nevada tomorrow night. They got the Wolfpack. Our pregame coverage will get going at 5:30. John Schaefer, Rich Ornberg will have the kick around 7:30 right here on your home for the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. Can't wait for it. That's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. JR and I will get going at 5:30 tomorrow night. All right, let's get to some of these texts while we still have a chance to. 615, Steelers, Browns. Hell nah, bro. I'd stay away from all division games. Every year I don't take the popular consensus pick and always try to get cute. And every year I lose Survivor, so I would stick with Green Bay if I were you.
615, you preaching in the choir, baby. That's what I've been saying.
I think 615 has already lost 4 separate Survivor pools this year.
615, I gotta apologize to my Chiefs, man. They let him down on Monday night. They let us all down. We all shared tears Monday night together, but Green Bay is the pick this week, I think.
619 Lions, easy money. We got to save the Lions.
We're not picking the Lions in Kansas City against the Chiefs, who need a win. Get out of here.
It is easy money, though. Like, the Lions are going to win that game.
It's easy money.
Yeah. 615 Fletcher, right? Raiders will win, so just throw $100 on them on the money line and take Green Bay with Survivor. It's a win-win situation. Yeah, but we want to save Green Bay also.
Dude, you cannot pick the Raiders in a Survivor pool when there are 4,000 people left.
Okay, 858. I would pick the best team off of a bye week every week from here on out.
You know who's coming off a bye week?
Packers.
Green Bay.
So are the Steelers. 858. Stay alive. Sell your ticket at some point soon. 858. Don't have faith.
858. 858. No, that's a losing mentality. You don't go to Vegas and go, hey, you know what? We're up a couple thou at the craps table. Let's just bow out. No, that's what quitters do. Quitters double down.
I mean, what if it's like we're all walking away with thousands of dollars?
Well, right now the evaluation's at like $4,000.28.
So we would have quadrupled our investment.
Yeah, but okay, so like, all right, cool. We get a couple grand. Whatever. No.
Yeah,
we're in
that
this
sucks.
thing. We're in this thing to win 18 million.
All right. 858. So is any good team playing the Titans or Raiders or Dolphins? Green Bay is the easy money pick this week. 858. No, I wanted the Saints to lose to the Giants for draft order purposes, but a win is a win. 858. If you guys talked about the Mark Sanchez situation, very, very sad, crazy, wild situation. Almost feels like it's not really worth talking about, but hopefully everything gets figured out there. And we need much, much more information before anyone can talk about it. All right. Busy weekend coming up. I do think we're taking the Packers. I think everyone is firmly entrenched there. Even if I was 1000% in on the Raiders, Sammy would never do it. And he has the password.
I do have the password. I made sure when we signed up that was.
What is the password? It's probably like Sammy's hair is so cool 6969 or something.
I honestly, this is probably not a great thing to admit on the radio.
Hashtag smashing Sammy.
It's a face ID thing. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I would have to like knock you out, hold your eyes open, and hold your phone.
Honestly,
over your
it's kind of concerning because it's what would happen if I couldn't get into it? But that's a thing to figure out another day. What if we have like a Bitcoin situation where, you know, that guy who had like 700 billion in Bitcoin because he bought into it and then he tried all of his passwords, so he got locked out.
I think it happened with 50 Cent too. 50 Cent had some crazy amount of crypto and then couldn't find his passwords.
At least 50 is going to be fine though.
That's true.
Like if you're just some dude that's like got a stock tip in your basement, you're like, hey, you know what? Let's buy Bitcoin in 2002.
How about the dude who bought a bunch of Bitcoin early on when it was worth like pennies and then sold like 700 Bitcoin or something to get 2 pizzas?
That's wild.
He like traded 700 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. And now that 700 Bitcoin would be worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's like stuff like you would never want to know. Like that would be like the worst thing possible.
Oh, I got 2 free large pizzas.
Dude.
Awesome.
Domino's, bro. Hooked it up.
Bytecoin thing that's probably not going to be worth anything.
Dude. That's
Imagine
brutal.
that, dude.
That makes me feel nauseous. I'm not even that person.
Same. Steve Hartman's coming up in just a little bit. How Low Scream tickets coming up in exactly 3 minutes. So give me the pitch for the Green Bay Packers. Like 100% the Packers are going to win this game.
Is the sales pitch to anyone in Survivor League. If you're a Green Bay Packer fan, listen, you're coming off a bye week. You had it. You were the crown kind of the NFL's best after the first 2 weeks of the season. Then you have an unfortunate road loss in Cleveland against Joe Flacco. We'll give him that, but Joe Flacco didn't play very well in that game. Then you're going back to Dallas. You're going back home. Micah Parsons going back home to Dallas. Emotional game, 40-40. It's a tie. Now you're on a bye week. Joe Flacco gets there on Wednesday night. He's starting Sunday. Jamar Chase, questionable with an illness.
He's probably going to play, but he is sick.
But he's sick. There's no rapport. He doesn't know the signals yet. This defense is going to be all over him. The Bengals offensive line is dreadful. So I expect Micah Parsons to have a big day, and that pass rush has really been getting after it. I just don't see, I don't see them losing that game. And if they do, at least we went out with our best punch. If we pick the Raiders, we're going to come in here on Monday, and if we lose, we're going to be like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, that's fair. Packers, it's all on you, dude. We got a huge weekend of college football coming up. Ohio State, Illinois, that's a 117. Alabama, Missouri, that's a 814. And Sammy, your big 3, question number 3 was going to be
what college football program has the most pressure this weekend to get a victory?
And the answer is so simple. It was not either of those matchups I just read. It is Penn State at home against Northwestern.
if they lose to Northwestern, that whole program needs to be disbanded.
Well, they just lost to UCLA.
No, I'm not saying it's unreasonable. I'm saying that's 100%.
It is possible. Now, what's already happened at Penn State, and this is kind of sad to see, but I saw a story about this morning. Tickets are down to like $10 at Beaver Stadium. People are so pissed after last week. They already think that Penn State has played themselves out of a college football playoff spot this year, outside of a conference win, that they're not going to the game this weekend. They're like boycotting the team, which sucks. It's still going to be hugely packed. There'll be 75,000 plus people in Happy Valley, but the fact that you can get in for around $10 is kind of insane to me. We were surprised Franklin kept his job after last week. If they lose again, I don't care what the buyout is.
Oh, he has to be gone. You're right, to your point that you lost the fan base at that point. You can't run him back out there and expect anything's going to change. All right, I got 3 programs that have the most pressure this week. I'm going to go number 1. I'm going to go LSU hosting South Carolina. Lenora Sellers hasn't been quite the quarterback everyone thought he was going to be, but still going to be a top pick in this draft. Everyone is kind of crowned LSU, and Brian Kelly's been chirping. Well, the big win they had was at Clemson, and Clemson's awful. So
how about Sammy, by the way, making sure it was 3 so we would be late going into Steve Hartman. I know your game, dude. You want to avoid Steve as much as possible.
Texas, Steve Sarkisian. This is a big matchup. You're favored at home against Oklahoma. John Mateer coming off an injury. You need to win this game. I believe in Sarkisian, but Arch Manning, I mean, this is a big game for you. You should have beat Florida in the swamp. Florida had no business drubbing you like that, and you do. And number 3, the USC Trojans. At some point, you can't keep just running the same thing back and saying USC's going to get the big win. They're going to get the big win. There was an opportunity to do that on the road in Illinois. Everything has gone downhill since the first season with Lincoln Riley going to the Pac-12 championship game and losing after Caleb Williams gets hurt. You have a big opportunity. Bryce Underwood, true freshman quarterback. Maeva, the SC season's on the line Saturday night. They're favored at home. First sold out the Coliseum in years. They got to get a victory.
We got to give away some tickets. Your chance right now to win a 4-pack of tickets to Hallow Scream at SeaWorld San Diego this year. Do horrors have awoken? 5 haunted houses, 8 terrifying scare zones, hidden speakeasies or screameasies, and the shrills of coasters after dark every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday now through November 2nd. Halloween fun for the whole family, and for a limited time, kids go free with paid adult ticket. Visit SeaWorldSanDiego.com for more information or be caller number
10.
Caller number 10. Sammy's putting some extra work on himself. That's good. 877-767-4760. Call number 10. You're going to SeaWorld. Steve Hartman coming up next. San Diego Sports 760.
The sport is sponsored by the Lakeside Optimist Club's Bulls Only Rodeo. San Diego State heading on the road, taking on the Nevada Wolfpack tomorrow night at 7:30. Aztecs currently 7.5-point road favorites in that one. Fletch and J.R. Tolver get you going the pregame at 5:30. Game starts at 7:30. Hear that right here on San Diego Sports 760. We got 2 Game 5s going on this weekend in Major League Baseball. Tigers in Seattle taking on the Mariners with a shot to go play the Blue Jays tonight. And then Saturday, the Cubs forcing a Game 5 against the Brewers. That game would be at 5 o'clock on Saturday night. The Bulls are back in town. El Cajon Ford and Barona Resort and Casino present the 26th anniversary of the Bulls Only Rodeo, October 10th and 11th at the Lakeside Rodeo Arena. Tickets at all San Diego area Boot Barn locations at the arena box office and bullsonlyrodeo.com.
San Diego Sports 760 on a Friday. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. If it's your first time trying us out, how we doing? My name is Fletch. That's Sammy. We are on every day from noon to 2. And every day we try to bring on somebody who is special to the city of San Diego. Today is no different. Every Friday we have Steve Hartman on at 1:30 to close out the week. And a week ago today, it was him who said the Denver Broncos will win the AFC West and the Kansas City Chiefs will lose to Jacksonville. He was exactly right for what happened last week in the NFL. We'll get to Steve in just a second. Did want to remind you that coming up tomorrow, San Diego State hits the road. They got Nevada tomorrow night. They're taking on the Wolfpack. Pre-game coverage will begin at 5:30 right here on San Diego Sports 760. John Schaefer and Rich Ornberger will have the kickoff right around 7:30 right here on your home for the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. If you missed it earlier, I told you about Nevada, how they switched over to a freshman quarterback who is very, very talented. He's going to be playing against the Aztecs tomorrow, most likely, and we'll see how that goes. Listen tomorrow starting at 5:30. Right now, here he is. Everything he said was right. It's Nostra Stevis. Steve Hartman joining us on a Friday. How we doing, Steve?
I wish everything was as easy to predict as this year's Kansas City Chiefs. Imagine setting an NFL record with 17 consecutive one-score victories, and this year you're 0-3. Currently the 10 seed in the AFC. 10 seed. To remind everyone, only top 7 seeds actually get into the postseason. So a lot of work to be done. And I believe Casey heading down to Miami to play another desperate team, the Miami Dolphins. This has been, I think, without a doubt, through the first 5 weeks, the most unpredictable NFL season that we have ever seen.
Well, what would be really unpredictable is if the Chiefs are somehow playing the Dolphins, because I think they have the Lions this week, Steve.
Oh, they play the Lions. I'm sorry. You know who plays Miami is the Chargers go down to Miami. That's right. Chargers go to Miami after their debacle that we just sat through. They are absolutely embarrassing as well. But you're right. That's right. They get to play the Lions. So that would be the highest scoring, best offense in the NFL versus a badly declining defense in the Chiefs.
That's exactly right.
Not a good omen.
We've talked a lot about it. Steve, let's get you off of the Chiefs for a second. Let's talk about last night's game. More impressed with the New York Giants or more disappointed in how the Eagles have been playing the last couple of weeks?
Couple of weeks, really all season long. We said this before their meltdown against the Broncos. By the way, the team I picked preseason to win the AFC West, looking pretty good with the Charger injuries and the debacle that is the Chiefs. But the Eagles did not play the first 4 weeks. 4 one-score victories. They easily could have been 0-4 instead of 4-0. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but this looks eerily similar to when the Eagles won their last Super Bowl, where they went into a malaise and all of a sudden, the next thing you know, they're not in the conversation. I do not know how, and I say this respectfully to all the gamblers, the many gamblers that go to your show for insider information before they place their wagers, how you bet on the NFL. How do you bet on the NFL? Because from week to week, you don't know. Could you have predicted after 5 weeks that the Colts would be the number 1 seed in the AFC and the Chiefs would be number 10? Anybody? Could you blade some odds on that one and made a lot of money? So, last night the Giants are waking up. The quarterback change did a big positive for this team right now. And as far as the Eagles are concerned, it is a team that just hasn't hit the restart button since winning that Super Bowl. And they didn't just win the Super Bowl. They demolished the Chiefs in that Super Bowl. They bear no resemblance to that team right now.
Steve, who should be the number one threat in the NFC now if the Eagles are kind of dead in the water?
That's a great question. I was all over the Rams bandwagon with a healthy Matthew Stafford, and Stafford has played well, but the Rams aren't there. The 49ers, I mean, I hardly look at them as a contender with all the injuries they've suffered right now. It could be the Packers by default, but I would say at this point you have to say that the Detroit Lions, if they can keep their defense healthy, Jared Goff's got a passer rating of 120 this year. Who knows? Maybe this is the year that Jared Goff finally gets the recognition that has been overdue him throughout his entire NFL career. I'll save his rookie season. So, I would say right now in the NFC, you would have to look at the Lions.
Steve, if you're the Baltimore Ravens and John Harbaugh, and by the way, Steve Hartman joining us here, you're 1-4 right now. We know the odds on 1-4 teams making the postseason. It doesn't get any easier this week. They got the Rams. At what point is it after this week? Are you considering selling off some pieces, maybe trading a Derrick Henry to try to get some draft picks in to help Lamar Jackson out next year?
Well, what exasperates the situation is they're led by the most overrated coach in the NFL, John Harbaugh.
Oh, come on.
Not Jim, but John Harbaugh.
Come on,
What?
Steve. John Harbaugh's a great
MVP,
coach.
Could have been a 3-time MVP. Oh, he's Mr. Nice Guy. I get it. Everyone loves John Harbaugh. Bottom line is he's 3-5 in the postseason with Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP. Let's face it, Joe Flacco made John Harbaugh. Ooh, did I just say that? I did. Joe Flacco. Oh, that's right. They had a defense led by Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, Hall of Famers, and Terrell Suggs, who will be in the Hall of Fame. Those days are gone. And so his medal as a coach, when you look at the fact that we knew going into the season the Ravens needed to upgrade their defense, and they are considerably worse than they were a year ago, the way he butchered the coaching in that AFC Championship game against the Chiefs a couple of years ago at home, John Harbaugh is a vastly overrated coach. And Mr. Nice Guy or not, he's a super nice guy, but he's overrated as a coach. So he can't find any answers right now for a team that looks worse and worse and worse. Remind me how they do last week. I mean, yeah, I understand losing that game, but getting humiliated at home, really?
I mean, the entire defense is hurt. The MVP quarterback that you're talking about is hurt.
I don't think that's really on Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Okay, again, this is a team going nowhere. People predicting that this was going to be a Ravens breakout year. No. And even before the injuries, their defense already sucked from the get-go, from the very first game. So, yeah, it's always convenient for coaches that should be under fire to just say, well, gee, we just had a rash of injuries. Hey, what about next man up? How about coaching a little bit? I've seen coaches overcome a lot of injuries and still get their teams to play competitively. The Ravens are not competitive, and they showed that in full throttle this past week.
So, not for nothing, but back the original question, should they trade Derrick Henry? I don't think you ever answered that, Steve.
Is anybody what are you going to get for a 31, 32-year-old running back on the downside of his career?
I mean, that's still,
You're not going to get value for Derrick Henry.
I think you get something for him.
Get value for Derrick Henry. By the way, remember Saquon Barkley? Whatever happened to that guy? Talk about a disappearing act. No one is going to give you anything of worth for what? A 31, 32-year-old running back? You might as well just give him away. There is no market for Derrick Henry.
So Drake May gets a big win in Buffalo last week. Your boy Bo Nix gets a win in Philly. Who's impressing you more between those two?
Well, I'll tell you what, like Bo Nix still to me has not taken the next step up from where I expected him to be after last year. Drake May has. And that was a convincing New England victory at Buffalo, another team that, of course, I picked Buffalo to win the Super Bowl. They looked anything like a Super Bowl winner against New England. They looked awful in that game. But, hey, give Drake May credit and just give the whole Mike Vrabel coaching style Oh, that's right. That familiar guy that's an offensive coordinator. He's done pretty well with quarterbacks over the years. But anyway, Drake May is showing a little more discipline. The game's slowing down for him a little bit. He's not trying to force as many plays, still doing it a few times, but, just playing within himself. Let your talent breathe, and you will see results. So, again, this is a topsy-turvy. What's up is down. What's down is up across the board in the NFL.
All right, Steve, let's talk some baseball. Last night, I can't even believe what happened, how the Dodgers won that baseball game with the ground ball back to the pitcher, bases loaded situation. He duffs it. It was a little league error that is sending the Dodgers to the NLDS. But was that game the World Series last night? Is that who the winner of this year is going to be? Was it between the Phillies and the Dodgers?
Well, I think it's a big game coming up between the Brewers and the Cubs here on Saturday. Either the Dodgers are the host team for Game 1 of the NLCS, or they're hitting the road to Milwaukee. So there's a huge swing on what happens on Saturday. And remember, the Brewers are 6-0 against the Dodgers this year. Look, the key to that game yesterday, without a doubt, was Roki Sasaki. I mean, this kid was given up for dead. There was a lot of thoughts he wouldn't come back at all this year. And then they convert him into a closer during the postseason with no experience in that job. Throws 3 shutout innings against one of the top lineups in Major League Baseball. That was the key. I mean, the brain dead play at the plate. Again, I don't even know why he threw the ball. The runner was already cross home plate, but he froze, and he admitted he choked it. But that's not the reason the Dodgers have advanced. What they have advanced, because outside of the Clayton Kershaw meltdown in Game 3 of this series, their bullpen has been lights out, thanks to a combination of starting pitchers that have been little used, obviously, in relief, and they're actually coming through. But the key there, Roki Sasaki. And let's keep in mind the Dodgers starting pitching, although that one pitch by Yamamoto to Schwarber. Is that still, has that landed yet? Have you ever seen a ball hit as hard as that one? That was as mashed a baseball as I've ever seen in my entire life.
Steve, is it the Blue Jays going to the World Series, or can the Mariners or Tigers make any hay in the ALCS?
Well, again, all season long, I kept saying, why is everyone downplaying the Brewers and the Jays? I mean, they were the 2 best teams in their respective leagues for most of the year. I don't know. To me, the Blue Jays still have to prove themselves. I don't know. The Pilots, I say the Pilots because to me, Seattle should still be the Pilots. I never liked the Mariners name. I like their original name, the Pilots, before they became the Milwaukee Brewers. And that's why I keep thinking about the fact that we could get a Seattle-Milwaukee World Series.
Ooh.
Because it would be the original Seattle Pilots who became the Milwaukee Brewers after their second season against the current Seattle Mariners. Doesn't that make sense? A little symmetry there, possibility. So, no, I don't think the Blue Jays are by any stretch a lock to walk into the World Series.
Sounds fun, Steve. All right, let's get off sports for a second. How's Steve Hartman, the human being? What do you got going on?
Well, I've been busy. I got a lot of TV thanks to the Dodgers situation. So the Dodgers advancing to the NLCS is kicking off 6 straight nights of television for me. Well, 6 straight nights if they play the Brewers. If it's the Cubs, then obviously the Dodgers will host the first 2 games on Monday and Tuesday. So I got a lot of TV these days, guys. Obviously, people have been reaching about the Hall of Fame thing. Sonny Vaccaro, the legendary Sonny, is going to make the trip out for my Hall of Fame induction in January, and Eric Dickerson's going to be there. I know you guys are going to be front row.
Of course.
Yes, sir.
We're tailgating. Rich already said we're going to be hammered drunk by the time the ceremony starts, Steve. Hope you're ready for that.
Well, the lakeside is a great place to tailgate. They got a big parking lot there. You can look out over the golf course, get absolutely toasted, and then take on the festivities. But no, everything's great, guys. Like I said, of course, I'm just still beaming about my UCLA Bruins pulling off one of the greatest upsets in the history of college football.
I was about to ask about that.
I still don't think people have given that proper perspective on how unreal it is that Penn State would lose a game to a team that was last in the Big Ten in both total offense and total defense. with a guy who had 2 days to put together a game plan offensively against the highest paid defensive coordinator in the country. That was the miracle of all miracles.
I was actually thinking about texting you the very next day, Steve, because is that the biggest college football upset you can remember?
Well, it's by far the biggest upset victory in UCLA history. I mean, there's no upset victory for UCLA that is even in the same zip code as that game. But I mean, it's unexplainable other than everything had to go right for UCLA. I love the onside kick after they scored the first time. You know, the attitude, we have nothing to lose. I love that. We have nothing to lose. Go for it. And Iamaleava all of a sudden looks like the quarterback they thought they had when they actually have an offensive coordinator, even 2 days on the job, to figure it out. What should we do with this guy? How can we actually put this guy in a position to succeed instead of fail? So a miracle turnaround, and it'll probably be the first of 13 consecutive victories for UCLA that will culminate in them being crowned as national champions.
I feel like after that week, you could just be done for the season. It's not going to get better than that.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get.
No, I mean,
by the way, this
look,
season.
I thought, look, my attitude was 0-12. Let's do it. I mean, if you're going to be bad, let's be historically bad. They were going to be underdogs in every game the rest of the year after losing their Northwestern. And I said, they could do it. I mean, they really have a shot here at 0-12, and they screwed it all up. Now I'm thinking national championship.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a turnaround. Unbelievable.
Sure. All right, Steve. We'll catch you next week. Thank you.
Guys, you're the best. Love you.
Love you too. Steve Hartman every week, 1:30, always takes up way too much time. And then we run out of time at the end of the show, which is happening right now. All right, we will close this thing out. Get you ready for John and Jim coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch, and you are going to get a $50 bonus in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. We got a Prize Picks lineup going a little bit later on today. I'll let you know what that is in a second. But here's what a lineup is on Prize Picks. You pick more than or less than on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. Coming up this weekend, we got Arch Manning, more than 2.5 passing yards. Wayman Jordan, more than 78.5 rushing yards. Justin Herbert, less than 252.5 passing yards. Cam Ward, more than 195.5 passing yards. It's that easy. Took me about 20 seconds to read it to you. Took me about 20 seconds to put it in to my phone. You can do the exact same thing. I like to think of Prize Picks as my sports watching companion. And with football in full swing, basketball just about a week and a half away, and a few weeks left of the baseball postseason, Prize Picks is your connection to sports heaven. Download the app today. Use promo code Fletch, FLETCH. Get a part of the billions of dollars that have already been awarded in winnings across the country. Download Prize Picks today. Use promo code Fletch, because on Prize Picks, it's good to be right. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long. We got 2 minutes left. Sammy, do we have a name for SeaWorld Hallow Scream tickets?
Paul.
Paul
Paul is going to Hallow Scream.
Love it. Can't wait for you, Paul. Very excited. All right, Steve Hartman was Steve Hartman, man. The stuff he was saying about John Harbaugh, like, what the hell are we talking about?
Steve was in rare form today.
I agree with one thing Steve said about John Harbaugh. He totally miscoached Lamar Jackson in that AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. Outside of that, John Harbaugh's a fantastic head coach and has been for decades.
Yeah, well, it's also
NFL.
like, John Harbaugh, their whole team is hurt. Like, I get it, but John Harbaugh has historically been a very good coach in this league, and he's won a Super Bowl. So if you're going to show that same kind of love to Jim Harbaugh, his brother, who's never won a Super Bowl, that seems crazy to me.
Yeah, crazy. Did you see, Sammy, that the NFL is now reviewing sideline antics from last night based on how the Giants handled the Jackson Dart concussion protocol?
That was crazy.
So it was bizarre. If you missed last night's Thursday night football game, there was a time in the third quarter where Jackson Dart goes down after a really hard hit. It seemed like it got him more in the neck, but that whiplash when the head hits the ground, that's what causes a lot of concussions sometimes. And so Jackson Dart leaves the game for a play like he has to because they think he had a concussion, goes into the tent. Brian Daboll, the head coach of the Giants, Cam Scatterbo, the running back for the Giants, both go into the tent with him. That is against the rules. Now, Daboll got told to leave the tent. Scatterbo got pushed out of the tent because you cannot have outside influence going in. It's an independent neurological consultant for a reason. That person is not associated with the team. And then you see on TV that same independent neurological consultant come out and talk to Brian Daboll, and it looked like Daboll was getting bad news. And then 3 plays later, Jackson Dart's back in the game.
Yeah, because Daboll knows that his whole career rests on Jackson Dart. His entire job as a New York Giant rests on the fact that his job is saved because Jackson Dart looks like the future of the franchise in Cam Scatterbo. And if he goes out with a concussion for a couple of weeks, they're going to lose more games, and he's going to get iced out, and some other coach is going to get to come in and have Dart. This is all that was. Brian Daboll was having a panic attack for his livelihood on the sideline last night.
They might be in some trouble here. Did you see Daboll freaking out when Russell Wilson spiked that one into the ground?
Why is Jameis not coming in?
I agree. I would have put, Jameis is still doing the pregame speeches for the team. Like, he's the leader of the team. Why? I don't understand why Jameis.
I don't know why the Giants aren't trading Jameis Winston. Like, you could get something legit you could get a 3rd round pick for Jameis Winston.
I think so too. All right, we going Packers?
We're going Packers. I think it's a safe bet. I think, I could have been talked into Baltimore. Lamar Jackson's out, but there's opportunities to take the Rams down the road. I think the Packers are the play here. Jordan Love. We did this last week. Daniel Jones, we did a little preach to him. He did not sell us. Jordan Love, please come through for us. Do not let a 40-year-old man beat you in your house.
Jordo, this one's on you, bro. If we come back here on Monday and the Packers are losers, I'm going to be real pissed. All right, San Diego Sports 760. We're out of here. John and Jim next. Thank you, everybody, for being here this week. It was a really fun one. We will see you on Monday. I'll see you tomorrow at 5:30, getting you ready for Aztecs and Nevada. See you tomorrow. San Diego Sports 760.